Okay, I got 123 on my chronometer. We'll go ahead and call to order the general home improvement license review for today, December 2nd. Cliff, if you could call roll for the board members, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Here.
Tom Sinek,
Here.
Shane Kaler,
Here.
Mike Pione.
Here. So we're missing Daniel and Ken Neverman. Before we get into as we get into the minutes from the prior month, I had, Tony, 3 notes to make that might have varied from your notes in the minutes. I had Isaac Luce-Ogar. I noted that we approved him for siding, windows, and doors, but we struck his application as applied for sprinkler, irrigation, swimming pools, and spas, and also irrigation sprinkler. Maybe you can verify that, Tony, and I may be wrong, I may be right. One way or another, I want to make sure we're both on the same page.
Okay, so I'll just make a list of these now. I'm trying to check them now. So Isaac Kogar.
I know for sure that you are correct, Michael, because he indicated that he made a mistake when he filled out the application, and he did not intend to check either of those 2 boxes.
So I had him approved as siding, windows, and doors, but not the other 2 items as his application indicated.
That's exactly right. Roofing, I believe, also.
Okay, is there another one? I'm just taking notes as I go, and I'll double check when I'm done.
There's kind of a stray name in there, Abraham Fares, and I don't know how that applies to the minutes. It doesn't indicate approval. I don't know if that was just a carryover or a mistake, but that looked odd in there as I was checking through the list.
Okay.
And then Alvaro Hernandez. I have roofing only that we approved, not siding, windows, and doors as he applied for.
That one, you were correct on that. You are correct on that for sure.
Okay. Beyond that, I didn't have any. The rest of the notes are fine.
Okay.
So I would entertain board members on that.
Yep. So with those comments being noted, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting.
I second.
Cliff, we have a motion to approve and a second on the prior month's meetings. If you could please call the roll.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. So motion carries on the approval of prior month's minutes, given the notes that we indicated. So I know we have Jeff Engel on. I think we can get through that application, and I'll get you sworn in here in a second. And unless there's any other business, Tony or Cliff, and we'll get into the other the hearings and then the rest of the applications.
I'm doing that.
Okay. So Jeff Engel's looking for 8 limited scope licenses, as indicated on the application and the agenda. I'm going to get you sworn in. If I could hear you and hopefully see you.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. If I could get your right hand up. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. If you could please, for the record, state your name and address.
Jeff Engel. My address is 4832 Augusta Woods Court, Westerville, Ohio, 43082.
Thank you. Quick, I don't have your application in front of me. I had a couple notes from it that it didn't particularly indicate specific hands-on experience in each of those 8 trades. So I think we need to have that represented as testimony in order to further evaluate.
Okay. So
go ahead and tell us about that if you like.
been,
Company.
been working in construction for lots of years. Hands-on and managing, doing both. I mean, I've completely remodeled houses from, flooring, installing appliances, drywall, paint, electrical, roofing, siding, gutters, windows. Done it all, with my own bare hands. I've also done it with the help of, people working beside me. And I'm trying to go to
I
that
cut out.
point
Is that my
where,
connection?
but I've done it, with my own hands and with people working beside me. And I'm basically I'm trying to, get the applications in line so I can get the license numbers so I can pull the permits and just, I want to be able to stay in compliance with the city and keep growing my business. I mean, I'm currently registered with the city of Cincinnati as a general contractor. I've been doing roofs in Cincinnati, Dayton, Hamilton, Forest Park, all that. I mean, I've been, doing this work for lots of years, So, I mean, I don't know what questions you have of me. I mean, I can answer any questions you have. I mean, I don't know specific what you're looking for.
Is it safe to say that all of the experience you listed on your application, you have at least 1 year of hands-on experience in each of those points?
Yes, I see I got a copy of my application here.
And then assuming that is true, your application did not indicate experience in exterior lathing and stucco, nor did it indicate experience in sidewalks and driveway approaches.
Okay. As far as exterior lathing and stucco, I have not done that, and I'm not seeking to do that, but I've done like regular vinyl siding, lap siding, hardy siding, stuff like that. But I've not done any exterior lathing and stucco, no. And as far as the concrete work goes, I was in the military back in the 90s, and my job there was pavement maintenance and construction equipment operator. And we poured lots of concrete back then, and I've got hands-on experience with that. It's just that's a few years back, but it's still got the experience with it.
So is it fair to say we should remove the exterior lathing and stucco?
Yes, remove the exterior lathing and stucco. And honestly, if you need to remove the paving or the driveway approaches, you can remove those as well, because if I come across a house that needs that, I'm going to be subbing that out to somebody else that can deal with the permits on it. Like an actual concrete contractor or asphalt contractor, something like that. So, I mean, I don't really even need those on there. I mean, the main ones that I'm looking for is the siding, windows, doors, deck installation, basement waterproofing, roofing, fencing, and gypsum board. That's the main ones I'm looking for. Those other checks, we can cross them off. Actually, it looks like asphalt paving I've already got crossed off, it looks like. So,
Well, my opinion is that we would approve this minus exterior lathing and stucco.
yeah, that'd be fine. I'm not planning on doing any exterior lathing or stucco. Any houses I come across that need siding, customers are always asking for, vinyl siding on them anyway. So, I mean, I just wouldn't take those jobs.
I agree with you, Ross. I think taking a couple of them out of there, and I'm making a motion to approve Jeff's application, taking out sidewalks, driveway approaches, and exterior stucco.
I second that.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Okay, Jeff, good luck.
All right. Thank you. So I assume I get like a email or something in the mail, or what, like when will I be able to start pulling permits, I guess is my next question.
Send me an email.
Tony will
later
send-
today. Jeff, send me an email later today, please.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Send me an email. You have my email address, correct?
I believe I do, but if I don't, I can write it down real quick. I'll put it on my board.
Okay. I'm the one that sent you the link for this meeting.
Okay, well, it's probably, yeah, I've got an email that the link came from, but if you want to give it to me, I'll write it down real quick.
Okay, it's T as in Tony, M Gillum, Gillum,
T.M. Gillum.
yes, at columbus.gov.
Awesome. I appreciate it. I'll send you an email.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right,
good
thank
luck.
Good luck.
you. Bye.
Ross, what happened there? My computer tuned out for a.
Michael, Tom made a motion to approve the application minus exterior lathing stucco, minus sidewalks and driveway approaches. I seconded the motion.
Okay. Did we have roll yet?
No.
Okay. So Cliff, we have a motion to approve and a second. If you could please call roll.
Just a sec. Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. So motion carries on the application for Jeffrey Engel. What's next? You want to jump into due process? Cliff, jump to the due process.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any, I think everybody else that's online is here for due process.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. So the first due process hearing listed complaint regarding City of Columbus and Patrick McGowan and Monica XIA on behalf of Franklin XM LLC and the City of Columbus BZS versus Leslie Herbach, DBA Windows for Less, HIC 00258 for the property at 125, 129 Dakota Avenue, Columbus 43222. So is anybody on giving testimony for that?
I do not believe so.
Okay, should we skip to the next?
Yeah, let's.
Brad, which case are you involved in, Brad?
The address is Port.
Okay, so that's the third. Where's the third one?
That one isn't on there. I mistakenly removed it from the agenda because the complaint was dropped by the complainant, but there's still a complaint filed by the city. I can pull it up. It's on the OneDrive still, and I can share that screen with you.
Well, it sounds like we need a decision from Cliff on whether the city is pursuing this or not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is still a complaint.
Here's the complaint. Can you see that?
Not yet.
No.
It says that I'm sharing it.
You're sharing your screen, but not the document.
What are you seeing? Nothing?
Just your file.
We see the folder, the
File manager.
drive.
Says pictures, free to court, BBB complaint, and contractor complaint.
All right, let me see. That's strange.
Or just photos?
I'm not seeing it. Okay.
Let's jump to the second. The second one, I think Rick Garabrandt is on for that. Let's jump to the second one, and then we can get back to the third one. So the second due process hearing complaint regarding the City of Columbus and Laura Williams Woods versus Garabrandt Excavation and Demolition, license number D0023 for the property at 1005 Clan Court. I see Rick is on. Rick, I'm going to swear you in with yourself and anyone else giving testimony. I just want to see you and need to hear you. I think you're on mute still, Rick, it looks like. Rick, if you can pop off mute, I can hear you and get you sworn in here. Rick, tell us what you're doing there. I think I see you. I can't hear you. Do you have a phone?
I'll go down.
He's here in the office, in one of the rooms.
I'm going to
He
come
may
down.
be having some troubles figuring out the computer, so.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hear me?
Yeah, Rick, there we go. Thank
Hello?
you. Yeah, I got you now, Rick. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, Rick, I'm going to get your right hand up and swear you in, along with anybody else, Cliff or Ken Bruin, giving testimony. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Rick, if you could please state your name and address for the record.
Say that again.
If you could please, Rick,
Tony,
state
go ahead.
name and address for the record, please, Rick.
Sword, didn't hear you. Go ahead.
Rick, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Rick Garabrandt, P.O. Box 1953, Westerville, Ohio 43086.
Thank you. Cliff or Ken, do you want to introduce the complaint?
Yeah. Okay. August 6th of 2020, there was a permit issued to demolish an existing 512 square foot in-ground swimming pool. On the 18th of August, work began performing the actual demolition of the swimming pool, and pictures were taken showing the swimming pool debris, a demolished hot tub, some piping, and other debris being actually deposited in the swimming pool hole and then covered over. In September of this year, our building compliance section received a complaint of a demolition of a swimming pool and completion of that demolition without removing any of the debris from the pool. We received those, the building and zoning received those pictures the next month, reviewed the pictures along with correspondence from the neighbors, verifying that, yes, there was debris being installed in the hole and then covered up with the grading of the yard. And as of today, there have not been any inspections scheduled or performed on that permit.
Can you highlight for us, please, the alleged violations? I'm reading them here. I just want to understand, make sure I'm understanding correctly. There are 3 code violations.
Yeah, the Columbus City Code lists what are the minimum requirements and expectations for any type of demolition. It does go into specifics when it has to do with any type of structure that is actually below ground, like a home basement or something like that, something that's going to have like a concrete slab or any type of retaining walls, that the code requires that when a structure is demolished, that any foundation wall, any structural wall, any part of the structure from grade down to 2 foot below grade has to be demolished and removed to 2 feet below grade. It also indicates that there cannot be any of the demo debris or any type of trash or anything like that put into the area that was excavated for the demolishing. It also indicates that any of the debris that is busted up or anything like that that's part of the structure has to be removed. It does indicate that for like a house that would have a basement, like a basement slab, that the slab is allowed to remain, but it has to be broken up into pieces that are no larger than 12 inches square, mainly so it doesn't, collect water and hold water, so water can drain. So the pictures that we were sent actually shows all of these things being put into that hole before it was actually covered up.
Okay, so allegedly those violations were, they failed to comply with those violations by not removing the structure down to 24, not removing the debris from the site, and leaving it in the subgrade cavity, removing it from the subgrade cavity.
That is correct.
Okay. Rick, I'd like to hear any comments you may have, please.
First of all, the one thing she was stating that she wasn't notified, that's not true at all. I delivered my track hoe at least a week ahead of time, and it sat in the backyard. I had Diane make up a yellow sign and put on the fence because I couldn't get one from you guys because of COVID. I did all the permits and stuff. I'm a little confused why Laura would wait 2 months, until the yard was finished and beautiful and everything's all finished. She should have been complaining on the 18th or 20th or shortly after that. The pictures she submitted are, they're just pictures of me working. She didn't show any pictures of anything being hauled away. She showed a picture of my empty dump trailer, which doesn't mean anything. I just showed up in the morning and she probably took a picture of it. The wire was just internet cable, which was just like under the sod. You know, it's really hard not to catch those. The electric lines were marked with flags. Everybody knew where everything was. I have no complaints on that.
Hey, Rick, let me interrupt you if you don't mind. The complaints in the letter are in some part superfluous to what the issue is. What's in front of us to make a judgment on are the three code violations. So if you don't mind focusing on, I mean, Cliff just presented information to us, and I think related to those three
Sure.
code violations, can you address what you cut down? Did you follow the code here? Or are there any violations that you're acknowledging or disputing? I want to stick with those three code sections.
I mean, I was hauling stuff away daily. Because this was just a small pool, there wasn't that much to haul away. You know, the first day I showed up, I took all the aluminum coping off and put it in I've got a big 1-ton van. You know, I was taking a little bit away every day. The days I showed up with my dump trailer, I did pull things over to the pool on top of the concrete before I put it in the dump trailer, and that's probably when she took the pictures. It just saves picking up a whole bunch of little tiny pieces, you know, in the grass or up above your spot that you're going to bury. You know, even the health department tells us to pump out a septic tank and crush it and bury it. There's plenty of dirt on top of it. She didn't take any pictures of any dump trucks bringing dirt in. You know, I did a poll for the city of Columbus Parks and Rec a few years ago. It was probably 60 by 100 and something, and I'd done the same exact thing on your pool, and there was an inspector there probably almost every day. He didn't have a problem with what I was doing.
So, Rick, regarding the code sections here, as far as removing structures down 24 inches below grade, did you say you did that properly in this case on land court?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You didn't leave any structure up above that 24-inch mark? And as far as
all the concrete that went in the hole was crushed up and compacted, and then put you know, good dirt on top of it, good clean dirt. I mean, this is what I do. I've been doing it for over 45 years. I've never had to come down here and, you know, do something like this.
Okay. Yeah, I know your license.
Michael,
Go ahead.
may I ask one question, please? Sure. Was the hot tub disposed of in the pool cavity, or was the hot tub hauled away?
It was broken up into pieces and put in my dump trailer.
I'm just curious why I see in photo number 8 what appears to be a hot tub in the cavity of where used to be a swimming pool.
Because like I said, I pulled it over into the hole so I wouldn't have a whole bunch of little tiny pieces to pick up. You know, I get it into smaller pieces so I can put it in the trailer. There just wasn't that much to haul away on this job.
Okay, thank you.
And she probably took a picture during that period and then didn't bother to take any other pictures or watch after that.
Cliff, do we have any history on applications or permits or violations for license 2000023 or D0023?
Yes. His license was issued March 27th of 2014. He has not been before the board before, and he has pulled one permit in the past 12 months.
Okay.
I haven't had that much work because of COVID in Columbus.
Okay.
But I did work in the city, Columbus Parks and Rec, for a whole year for another company that bid and got all of your parks demolition projects. So I spent a whole year traveling around all over Columbus, Ohio, taking down shelter houses, swimming pools, lodges. There was even a swimming pool out in Blacklick area. I mean, I was all over Columbus working for you guys. Never once had a complaint.
Okay. Will you be willing, or will you be willing or able to open up part of the hole so that we can verify this?
Well, I mean, I don't know how I'd get a machine in there now because they've landscaped the yard and concrete porch. And I mean, I could go down with a hand shovel and dig you a couple holes. Sure.
Okay, because we wouldn't be able to approve the final inspection until we verify that the debris is not there and that we did remove the structure down to 2 foot below grade.
Okay.
Rick, do you have any pictures yourself of the backfill process or
I'm not real sure about that. I usually do, but I haven't looked to see if I had any.
It might help your case if you have clean pictures of that effort, after whatever junk was removed from it. I think that would certainly paint a better picture than the one that we have in front of us currently.
All right.
I don't know, Cliff, any advice? Do we table this until we verify with some of those dig holes to rule on it? Or, otherwise it's a he said, she said kind of thing.
Yeah. I guess my suggestion would be potentially tabling some of the decisions until we're able to verify whether the debris was completely removed out of the hole or not, and perform an inspection, or if you would rather him provide pictures.
I think if he could produce pictures, that may be helpful. It may not be.
I mean, my opinion, gentlemen, is that he has sworn to tell the truth. And what he is telling us is that he, in fact, did remove the debris. I don't know when photo number 8 was taken, whether it was when he was halfway done or if he threw dirt right over the top of that. There's no way to know that. So my opinion is I have no choice but to take him at his word.
I agree, Ross.
So that I agree with that too. I guess, Cliff, as far as closing out the permit from the city's perspective, we can make a ruling on this. If you find new information, that either brings it back to us or has its own course. What does the city need to do to close out the permit?
We'll have to verify that that the debris was removed.
Okay.
We could do that with some exploratory holes.
Yeah.
To where we feel confident, and then we can perform the final approval at that point. Obviously, if at that point we see that all the debris was not removed, I don't know that we can file another complaint because you would have already made a ruling on that complaint.
But at that point, you're going to hold the contractor accountable to get a, correct inspection or finalize the permit one way or another, right?
Seems to me like we're going to have to table it till the inspection's done.
Shane?
I said, seems to me like we're going to have to table it until the inspection's done.
I see it differently. I think we can make a ruling based on what Ross just said.
But then we can't go back if they go in there and dig it up and see a hot tub in there. Then they can't go back after him.
you can table the penalty phase. You can make a ruling and table the penalty phase if
Okay.
there is one.
Okay, I was mistaken.
But we're inclined at this point to find that he has not in fact violated the building code. So if we do in fact find that he has not violated any code, then there would be no penalty. And
Correct.
I understand that, again, we're assuming that Mr. Garibrand is telling the truth.
I agree with you, Ross. Yeah.
Correct.
So my opinion is one of two things. We either allow the city some time to conduct an additional inspection, or if we're going to rule on this today, I'm strongly inclined to find that he has not in fact violated any of the sections of the building code.
And that's either one of those is going to be a decision of the board.
Well, Mr. Chairman, that's why you get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
think
a tough one.
I think we should rule on it now, based on his testimony under oath that he's complied with the code. So he didn't fail to remove. He did not fail to remove structures below 24 inches. He did not fail to remove debris from the site. He did not fail to remove subgrade cavity debris. Yeah, I will entertain a motion. If
Second, I second it.
I wasn't making an emotion. I was just giving you an example of what the motion.
Okay.
Well, I will make a motion as a finding of fact. There's no reason for us to believe that Mr. Garibrand failed to remove the structures 24 inches below grade. There's no reason to believe that Mr. Garibrand failed to remove the demolition debris from the site. Additionally, there's no reason for us to believe that Mr. Garibrand failed to remove the debris from the subgrade cavity.
Good. Tom?
I second.
So Cliff, we have a finding of fact motion and a second. If you could please call the roll.
Ross Appleborn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. So motion of finding of fact carries.
Make a motion as a conclusion of law that based on what we've just discussed, Mr. Garibrand, in fact, did not violate any sections of the building code.
Yeah, specifically, I think those alleged as violated.
Okay, so Mr. Garibrand did not violate 41123.23H, remove structures 24 inches below grade. He did not violate 4123.23B, demolition debris removed from site, and he did not violate 4123.23J, debris removed from subgrade cavity.
Did I hear a second? Did somebody second that? If somebody seconded it, I didn't hear.
I second that.
Not yet.
Okay, thank you. I got a second from Shane. Cliff, roll call, please, on conclusion of law.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. So motion carries on conclusion of law with no finding of alleged violations for the code sections referenced.
Yeah, so given all of that, I make a motion that we take no action against Mr. Garibrand's license.
I second.
All right, Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on the punishment, no action for this. Rick, thank you. Appreciate it.
Gentlemen, I need
All
to take a quick, what's the word, recess, or just give me a second. I got to go escort Rick out of the building.
Okay.
Okay.
Tom, you do 40, buddy.
Oh, probably a new chair, right? I'm going to try not to move.
I'm so cold out.
That's why I have trees around my backyard so my neighbors can't see what I'm up to.
That's a good idea.
All right, we finally got the streaming up.
Okay.
Looks like we have another caller that joined us.
I think that's Wendy.
I've got Wendy's
That's
name.
me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Incognito. Brad, thanks for hanging in there. We'll get right into this hopefully here in a second.
Okay, very good.
Um,
Should we send a search party after Tony?
I think she just showed up.
Here I am.
There she is. So
Ready when you are.
What? Yeah, I was thinking if you can pull up the content for the third due process hearing, that would be great.
I will try.
You said it is in the whatever one draft thing.
It's Frida Court is the address. Let me see if I can share here.
All right, so I know we have Brad on. If anybody else giving testimony for this case, for this address,
Not on my behalf.
okay. So anybody giving testimony for the case, Brad and anyone else, please give me your right hand up. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Brad, if you could state your name and address for the record, please.
Brad Aaronsburg, 182 West Royal Forest Boulevard, Columbus.
Okay. And you're, again, I apologize, I don't have it all in front of me. You're a contractor in this case, or what's your role?
Correct. Yeah, I'm the owner.
The owner of the house or the owner of the contractor? Sorry.
The owner of the contracting company. I'm the license holder.
Got it. Thank you. So Cliff or Ken, if you want to get us oriented with the complaint, please.
Okay, from February 2019 until June of 2019, Bradley Builders were hired by the homeowner to investigate and repair a roof leak on the back half of the attached garage to the house. Part of that, it indicates replacing some sheathing, recovering with shingles, some chimney siding, wood panel replacement, flashing, miscellaneous roof repair. Based on those invoices, it's difficult to discern whether the amount of work that was performed would require a permit or not. However, May of 2020, there was also work being performed to remove and replace shingles, repair trusses, replace roof sheathing, and the pictures also show quite a bit of siding and sheathing removed from the chimney as well. There were no permits pulled at that time. August of 2020, there was a permit obtained to re-roof the rear section of the attached garage, and there was a final inspection August 24th approved for the re-roofing of the rear of the garage. There has not been a permit for any type of truss repair.
And Cliff, that permit was pulled by Bradley Builders.
Yes.
Does he hold an HIC license?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
So where I'm trying to dig this up, what are the code violations referenced as alleged violation?
Work was performed without a permit.
Okay.
A permit was obtained for the re-roofing section of the work that was performed, but not the removing of siding and sheathing on the chimney or any type of truss repair that would have been performed.
Okay.
Now, based on the pictures, it's difficult to tell as far as siding removal on the chimney how much siding was removed. Obviously, anything that is under a square, 100 square feet, would be considered repair. So that's something that would have to be, I guess we would have to ask Mr. Ahrensberg what actually was performed.
Mhm. So Brad, you probably would love to share some information. I'll let you go ahead.
Yes, I would. So we did work in two phases. The first time was February 1993. February 2019. And what we worked on, the only thing we worked on was the chimney. She had a wood frame chimney attached to her house. Those measure about, some of them are 2 foot by 4 foot, some are 2 foot by 5 feet. So we removed about 80 square feet of vinyl siding. We removed about 80 square feet of vinyl siding in 2019. When we took the siding off, there was no house wrap, and there were 2 OSB panels that were water damaged. So that's about 40 feet of OSB that we had to replace. There was no structural work. And then we put the house wrap back on, careful, get all the waterproofing details correct. And then we reinstalled the vertical trim boards and then step flashing where the chimney meets the roofing. So that first piece of work, I told the homeowner, when we're dealing with water damaged wood, we're only going to work by the hour because we can't tell how much is water damaged until we take things apart. So it involved 2 people, 2 days. I think the labor charge was around $1,400, but the total square footage of the workspace was under 100 square feet. Any questions about phase 1?
No, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Was the damage to the ceiling part of phase 1 or part of phase 2?
Phase 2. Everything else is phase 2.
Thank
Can
you.
we talk about that?
Please.
Okay. I looked on the auditor site about a month ago, and the roof plane we replaced is 104 square feet. So anytime a roof area is like right at a square or under square, we don't get a permit. But on this small roof plane, the homeowner needed us to remove 1 OSB panel at for her exterminator. He had to spray for carpenter ants because the leak in this area, it's gone on for over a decade. So when we took the panel up and the exterminator did his job, that's when someone called it truss repair. We really just needed to put a nailer back on the existing truss to support the new OSB panel. So we didn't get in there and do all kinds of crazy carpentry or framing work. And then we put it back together and we shingled. I did get the permit for that area. It was so small. Normally I wouldn't get a permit for a job right out of square, but got a permit, paid for a permit. It was inspected and it passed.
Yeah.
Cliff, do we have a history on permits pulled or appearances with the board for Bradley?
I do not have that history.
I can pull it up. I'll let you know in a minute.
Thank you. I will say that Columbus is not going to pull out a tape measure and specifically check if we're saying that. If Mr. Ahrensberg is saying that the work was over a square, 104 square feet or something like that, any interpretation that we take is a liberal interpretation, so I don't know that we would have encouraged somebody to obtain a permit for 4 square feet over 100.
He got one anyway, though, right? Just in the abundance of conservatism, I guess, perhaps.
Yeah, that is correct. I was bringing that information up purely because the work was performed prior to getting that permit.
Brad, could you tell me a little bit about what happened when the drywall? There was another company that came in to replace the drywall after phase 2. Is that when it happened?
Well, even as of even as of right now, I really don't know who damaged the drywall. My 2 workers said they did not damage it. They removed that one sheet of OSB off of the ladder. The only person on the attic that day was her exterminator, and I never had the chance to talk to him. She wouldn't give me the name of that company. So my wife and I just decided about 2 weeks ago to go ahead and pay the bill just to be done with it. So I honestly don't know who damaged that drywall, but I paid for it.
And
A good gesture.
And the drywall repair you said was less than a sheet?
Oh, I don't know who did the drywall repair. She hired another company, and that was $2,150. She paid a copy of the check front and back. That check cleared the bank. So I don't know the company that did the drywall repair.
Okay.
But anyways, you asked if it's a full sheet. Yeah, it's probably the piece broke in between 2 trusses. So there's 2 feet, and then come out from the wall maybe 18 inches.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the wonderful world of business ownership. Sometimes you have to pay for stuff even if it's not your fault.
So there's one more piece to this story. The chimney no longer exists. The homeowner hired my 2 workers without me knowing about it, and they tore the structure down. So I turned her into code enforcement, and that's when all this started. That's when this complaint started, and a half a dozen other complaints started. We can't go back and measure the chimney. It's not there. But I hope I don't lose my license over 4 square feet. I got the permit, paid for it. The reason I got it, she said the work was faulty. She wrote that to me in an email, and I forwarded that email to Tony. So I figured with a permit and an inspection and it passed, that would hopefully settle that piece of it.
Hey, Brad, I tell you, over the years, doing repairs is always a nightmare. I mean, you might think you know where it's at. You fix the flashing, you fix the shingles, but the problem is it comes back sometimes. And that's what it sounds like you got involved with, a tough leak. And then you got an exterminator in there too. That's, carpenter ants. You got a mess. And you just got a bad job. It's hard to work for some people like that.
So let me go back to, with the finding of fact in mind, what was the sequence of that August 20, August of 20, you got the permit for the roof?
August 1st of 20 is when the permit was obtained, and August 24th is when the inspection was performed and approved.
So, Brad, what was your sequence with that? Where was the status of the work on August 1st, and what triggered you to get the permit?
Yeah, I can tell you it's an email from the homeowner on July 14th where she said the work was botched, and then also said the work was incomplete. So
the phase 1 work or the phase 2 work?
Phase 2.
Okay.
I ordered and paid for the permit just to try to settle that issue.
Okay. So I guess as we're drawing our finding of fact, and this isn't necessarily going to indicate the punishment, but you failed to get your permit really when you should have. Is that fair to say? Relative to when the work started?
Over 104 square feet, yes.
Okay.
Did any of you ever work with Fred Stewart McGee?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he told me 20 years ago, he said, don't even bother us with anything under 200 square feet. And I've kind of lived by that.
Well,
Mr. Chairman?
And I do want to, I definitely understand your question, Mike, but I do want to reiterate that that what triggered us to believe that a permit was going to be needed was the invoice for a truss repair.
Okay.
As the amount of siding and sheathing that was removed on the chimney and the amount of roofing that was removed, we could not verify whether it was under a square or over a square.
Okay.
Based on the invoices, it was the truss repair because it wasn't specific as to what the repair was. It just said truss repair. If Mr. Ahrensberg is saying that truss repair was a nailer for the sheathing, we don't have anything to dispute that.
Okay. Again,
Yeah, and I don't see any photos that would indicate to me anything that I would characterize as a truss repair. I have a question. I regarding the code violations, building permits required, inspections required. Has the working without a permit fee been resolved? That's indicated on here.
What was that question for me?
No, for Cliff.
That is a violation that, yes, we put on there, but typically when building compliance is involved, if the homeowner does file a complaint and the homeowner does provide a name of a licensed contractor, BCS may waive that working without permit fee. It would have been assessed whenever Mr. Ahrensberg purchased the roofing permit. So if it was a $75 permit, then I would have to say it was waived because the permit will not be released if there is a fee attached.
But in any case, as far as the city is concerned, that permit fee has been resolved. The has been closed and completely satisfied everything that the city would ask him to do.
Correct. If he was issued a permit, then it would be satisfied.
Well,
what about the licensed specialty contractor violation? What does that relate to? He's a general and that should have been a roofer working on it, or what's the?
That's the truss repair.
Okay.
The specialty? Yeah, there isn't, that one's not marked, Mike. It's just the building permits required, inspections required, and approvals required are what I see marked as violations.
Okay, I see the working without permit fee and also work of a registered OC ILB licensed specialty contract on the whatever worksheet I'm looking at here on the OneDrive.
Okay, well, they're not.
So it's really just.
They're not.
They weren't part of the violations. They're not in the letter.
Okay.
Michael, I just noticed that those three aren't checked. There are X's in the top three boxes and no X's in the bottom four boxes.
Correct.
All right. Ross, you ready? Do we have any more questions?
I mean, yeah, I have one question. Does the board think that in fact the was violated based on what's pretty gray in terms of the square footage?
Yeah, my opinion is it doesn't matter because it's not going to impact the other. Well, I guess it does impact the other, and it does matter. It is a fine line, and it's Tom.
I'd say he got involved with more of a repair. He started with a repair, and he still did pull a permit to get a roof permit. I say, it's a tough job right there. You didn't do that's what scared me about the trusses. It had that material about the trusses. You didn't touch the truss. You didn't cut it. The only thing you put was a nailer. So I say I have no problem. It's just one of them jobs that you get involved with something and it gets into a little bit of everything.
Yeah, side context. I don't know if anybody saw what Tony populated there, but he's not been before the board. He's pulled 36 permits over the last 12 months, and he was licensed in 11, 9 or 10 years ago.
I think he did everything he could, and I would consider it more as a repair. And it's right on that edge of pulling permits, like Cliff said. Square footage, how much siding was. I mean, if it's real close, it's tough. And sometimes we just say, hey, let it go. But if you start getting into the big amounts, and that's where we get the problems.
I think Ross, to answer your question, indicating that he violated the code sections doesn't represent the case here. I think he didn't.
I agree, because I don't think we have any proof that area exceeds 100 square feet.
Exactly.
Right, absolutely. And I would say the two guys that tore the chimney down, I'd kind of check into them.
Right.
Well, they're not licensed in the city of Columbus, probably.
Are they?
There is an active permit to remove the chimney.
Oh, there is. Okay.
From the homeowner?
There is an active permit.
Yep.
Okay. We'll work everyone on that today. Maybe another day.
You ready for a motion, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion as a finding of facts that Mr. Ahrensberg did work which in fact did not require a permit. I would also, as a finding of facts, indicate that Mr. Ahrensberg, since no permit was required, no inspections were required, and additionally, no approvals were required.
I second that.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek. Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Dan Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pion.
Aye. Motion carries on finding of fact.
I'll then make a motion as a conclusion of law that based on that, Mr. Ahrensberg in fact did not violate 4113.37 building permits required. He did not violate 4115.01 inspections required, and he did not violate 4115.03 approvals required.
A second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Dan Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pion.
Aye. Motion carries on conclusion of law.
I would then make a motion, given all of that, that we take no action against Mr. Ahrensberg's license.
I second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Dan Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on no action to the license. Brad, thanks for joining us. I think we're all done unless you have any other questions.
Oh, that's it. All right, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good luck, Brad.
Don't call the city.
So do we want to hear the first complaint? Or are we expecting people there, or should we clip any information before we do that?
I don't have any information of whether they were planning on being here or not. The only one that contacted me was Mr. Ahrensberg. And by the way, Shane, just to answer your question, that chimney removal permit was pulled by the homeowner.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yep.
Well, he made the
Okay.
mistake by calling the city.
So let's hear the first complaint unless anybody objects to that. For the property at 125-129 Dakota Avenue.
Okay.
Cliff, should I swear you in?
Probably.
If I could get your right hand up, anyone giving testimony, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, Cliff, thank you. If you could introduce the topic, please.
Okay. From May of 2019 until July of 2019, invoices were submitted to the owner for work being performed to both units in a duplex. Work being performed consisted of furnace and supplies, new 90% efficiency furnaces, new 2-ton air conditioners and AC coils. We've also got ductwork being run in a crawl space, a 200 amp panel and wiring, supply and install 4 sheets of 4x8 plywood to cover basement access, plumbing shutoffs with half bath, a 220 line for a dryer with washer hookups, water heaters, removal and replace of gas lines to connect new furnaces, new shutoffs and cap-offs, new motors from Columbia Gas to operate both, supply and install 2 meter cans, and there was an invoice for plumbing and windows. That was, as I said, from May 2019 until July 2019. 10 of 2019, the homeowner obtained a permit to do alterations to the property, including MEP work, but there were no MEP permits. 2014, there was a letter from the homeowner terminating the contract she had with the contractor.
What was the date on that again, Cliff? Sorry.
10/14 of 2019.
Got it.
And 10/24 of 2019, the owner closed out that permit with no inspections performed. The next day, the homeowner pulled another permit for work to the property, including MEPs, but again, no MEP permits. There was a team inspection performed by the field supervisors, and they provided a list of multiple violations and indicated this work being performed. including removal of windows, removal of drywall, and then January 21st of 2020, there was a plumbing permit obtained to install new plumbing throughout by a plumbing contractor. February of 2020 is when we actually received the contractor complaint about all this work. That was actually a result from the team inspection that we filed the complaint. March of 2020, the plumbing rough was approved. March 13th of 2020, there was an electrical permit obtained to install electrical as needed for the remodeling. April 7th of 2020, the electric rough was approved. And just today, the mechanical rough was approved. So we do have permits for all of the work currently, but those permits were obtained after most of this work was already performed.
I have two procedural questions, if I may. Number one, are we satisfied that good service was received on this to the contractor?
Yes.
Okay. And number two, this appears to be some sort of a joint venture between two different contractors. It's a little unclear to me which of those contractors did what.
Well, the Leslie Herbach was acting as the general contractor and may have hired or subbed the work out to somebody else.
I see. Well, there are agreements between JH&K General Contracting. It lists the customer as simply Pat and Monica. There's a contract for vinyl siding. There's a contract indicates the contractor should obtain permits for the electrical and plumbing. And there's another separate agreement. Third agreement for the contractor to replace stack and drain pipes, relocate plumbing, and additional agreement for the contractor to build firewall. Those are under the name of JH&K Contracting.
Which I think was the subcontractor for the Leslie Herbach.
Fair enough, but those appear to be contracts that he entered into directly with the owners of the property.
And do you know what dates you're looking at for those?
The estimate for vinyl siding is not dated, nor do I see that it is signed. The agreement for the electrical and plumbing is dated October 16th, signed by Patrick, somebody on behalf of Franklinton XM. The other agreement, October 14th, signed again by Patrick on behalf of Franklinton. And then the firewalls was on November 2nd. Hereafter called the contractor and Franklinton XM LLC, again signed by Patrick.
Yeah, I don't know why those are not in my.
Those are in the OneDrive. Those are labeled Dakota Avenue 125 through 129. And the date indicated perhaps they were uploaded was October 13th.
Okay.
15 pages.
my understanding was that the Jim Harper was not getting paid for the work that was contracted by Leslie Herbach.
Well,
They have,
yeah,
and you said this was October?
16th day of October, work to be completed. The contractor shall obtain permits for the electrical and plumbing for the property located at 125 and 129 Dakota Avenue, Columbus, Ohio. The name indicated was
Okay.
Pat Monica. It appears that Pat, using the same blue pen, crossed that out with Franklinton XM and then signed it in his name on behalf of Franklinton XM LLC.
Okay. If this was October 14th, then that would have been after the homeowner terminated the contract with this complainant.
I see.
So this may so if this was after the first contract and there was a building permit, even if the homeowner obtained the permit, the homeowner would have to hire licensed contractors to do the work. So if
Okay.
this is a licensed contractor, then there would not be a violation unless we have evidence that he's doing work outside of his license, which that would be a separate complaint.
Yeah.
So this complaint is against Leslie Herbach for work that was performed prior to a permit being obtained and work performed as a specialty licensed contractor.
Okay. Fair enough. It's just really, it's somewhat confusing with all of these.
I've spent a lot of time going through all this. It's because there was even an email that was sent by the owners trying to explain how the two entities worked, because it seemed like they were trying to complain against both entities. But if Mr. Herbach, being a licensed general contractor, if he hired another contractor to do work and they were a licensed contractor, there's the potential of a code violation of that second contractor doing work. If there is not a permit, they should make sure there is a permit, but it would still fall back on the original general contractor being the one that's contracted to do the work.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's kind of a soap opera.
Yeah, it's for sure. There appear to have been some red flags that perhaps were ignored here. Okay.
I'm struggling to organize this. I mean, it seems likely that given the sequence of invoicing and work being completed before the permits were sought, there's a violation there, right? And also specialty work as well.
Appears to me to be crystal clear that these sections of the building code were in fact violated.
Right.
I agree.
Violated by Herbach, right? Windows for less.
Correct. And perhaps additional violations took place after that with another contractor, but in
That's
any case,
outside.
exactly.
Yeah. So is that enough to move on, or are there more layers to this that need to be evaluated? Is it that simple? The code violations allegedly are building permits required, inspections required, approvals required, inspection before covering up, work of licensed specialty contractor.
I'm prepared to offer a motion on all of those items. It's crystal clear to me those code items are violated.
Good, makes sense.
Okay. Well, given that, I will make a motion as a finding of fact that Mr. Herbach failed to acquire the required permits, failed to acquire the required inspections, failed to acquire the required approvals, failed to have inspections performed before covering, and also perform the work of a registered licensed specialty contractor, all at 125 through 129 Dakota Avenue, Columbus, Ohio.
I second.
Thank you, Tom. Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Jane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pion.
Aye. Motion carries on finding of fact.
I'll then make a motion as a conclusion of law that by doing so, Mr. Herbach violated Building Code Section 4113.37, building permits required, 4115.01, inspections required, 4115.03, approvals required, 4115.05, inspection before covering, and 4114.111, work of a registered licensed specialty contractor. Again, all at 125 through 129 Dakota Avenue, Columbus, Ohio.
I second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Cliff.
Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Jane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pion.
Aye. Motion carries on conclusion of law.
I'm inclined to say, given the extremely egregious nature of these violations, and given Mr. Herbach's absence at this hearing, I think either a suspension of 6 months or a revocation.
Do we have history before we rule on that? Do we have history of application pulled in a recent term?
I do. He was issued the license in 2018, and he has not been before the board before and has not pulled any permits in the last 12 months.
I was thinking 90 days, Ross. It'd be easier if he was here to talk about it. It'd be a little bit more interactive, but I don't have a problem with 6 months if everybody else agrees with that.
I think 6 months is fine.
I agree with you. I agree with Ross.
I think this is
Defend
this
himself, and that's terrible.
right. And this is one of the most, I mean, you don't install an HVAC unit. Everybody knows their license doesn't cover that. That is, and then if you just look at the sequence of events and yeah, I mean, the complaint is 3 pages and just appears to be a nightmare from start to finish.
You're right.
Oh, absolutely.
So I make a motion that we suspend Mr.
Well,
Herbeck's.
let me interrupt you.
Yep.
So in 6 months, we'll leave the scenario where in 6 months he gets his license back. Do we want to do that? I'm flipping from what I said before, but that's what he sits out 6 months and then he's fine. That scores automatically. So maybe I'm supporting your earlier case.
A revocation, Cliff, remind us how that works.
Revocation is for 1 year, and in order for them to get the license back, they would have to come back. They would have to come before the board. A 6-month suspension means that when the suspension is over, that their license is reactivated.
I'm inclined to revoke this license.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It doesn't 6 months.
Doesn't do nothing for him for 6 months.
He hasn't pulled license anyways.
Yeah, he doesn't pull any permits, so he'll keep doing that.
Permits, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm supporting the revocation.
Okay. Then I make a motion that we revoke Mr. Herbeck's license.
Second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Did you want to say something, Tony?
I wanted to ask you, you have my files over there. Do I have certified mail return receipts? I want to make sure that before you guys do this heat, that we have good service to the contractor.
Good point.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, there's a receipt 1119, and it has a label on it, Leslie Herbach, DBA, Windows for Less.
But I don't have, like, there's no green card, the heavy green cards. Okay. Wendy, am I wrong in checking this, or do you think I should kind of come over and grab that?
I think I think you definitely need to make sure you have good service.
Let me go double check it.
Yeah, it's not like an HVAC unit and a shower mixing valve are a long ways apart from each other.
Right. And plus, you start using gas lines, shutoffs. You're dealing with a lot of stuff.
It's not a new.
Right on it, maybe?
It has a date on it. We don't have quite as many applications this time as the last couple months.
Yeah, well, they're just as bad as usual, if that makes you feel any better.
Well, but I think following your suggestion, they should go quicker.
They were also emailed.
Did they respond to the email?
I may double check. I don't think we did. I don't think that I got anything from them. We sent. Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm winded from running over there. And Cliff, you said you didn't hear from them at all, right?
No, the only one I heard from was Mr. Aaronsburg, Bradley Builders.
Okay. I do have a read receipt from this for the email address for Windows for Less. I have a read receipt. I did not get any communication from them.
So let's table it. Let's just table the punishment. We've ruled on the first two. It's easy if we do it next month. If they want to show up and present, then he can tell his story and we can react to that. But I think we just table it for a month given the uncertainty, right?
Well, hang on. I can tell you if you received this letter in about a second. Hang on. I just need to look up the tracking number.
When was it sent, Tony?
November 19th.
I think it's fair, given that we intend to revoke the license, give him one more opportunity to, just to be certain that there was good service.
Yeah, it may or may not change anything if he shows up. But
It says return to sender. November 30th, 2020 at 9:18 a.m. It was returned to sender, is what it says.
So that was just Monday.
Great, but I sent it. I mean,
So we haven't.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I think, I'm trying to look through the code real quick, but I think they should have more notice than, 2 weeks, especially given there was a holiday in there.
Okay, well, 2 weeks is what I've always been told for BZA and everything, but you tell me how you want me to handle that.
Well, I think what the board wants to do with regard to tabling the last portion is fine. Like I said, been trying to find the code provision regarding notice, but can't do it right on the spot here. So I think the board should just go ahead with what they want to do.
Then I will make a motion that we table the penalty phase until the January board meeting.
Second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Applegarn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Jane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. So motion carries to table the punishment ruling until next month's meeting.
Is that Ross's in second?
Wendy,
Yeah.
Wendy,
Yeah.
I do see, in the code, it's saying that, aforementioned cause secretary, relevant board of review shall cause a copy of such complaint to be served by certified mail on such department issued license holder complained of. This notice shall also identify the board of review that will adjudicate the complaint, the location, time, and date upon which such complaint will be heard by the board of review. The hearing by the board of review shall be at some time no later than 60 days.
Okay.
It just says
Well,
it has to be served by certified mail.
Right.
So-
And it sounds like it was, but again, we haven't received the green card back. And, I appreciate that, Tony, you can look it up and we see that it's on the way back. But again, with the severity of the punishment that's at stake in this instance, I do think, he should have the opportunity to be in front of the board.
I believe return to sender means the whole letter. He didn't read it and send the green card back.
Oh,
I think
I see.
the whole letter's coming back to me.
Right. So he refused service.
Right.
Maybe he knew it was coming.
Well, you gotta
But
use
in any event, I think to err on the side of caution in this instance, give him another notice.
Okay. I'll contact you separately, Wendy, whether I should send like the decision form saying that part is being tabled if he wants to appear. I'll talk to you about that later.
Okay.
All right, to the applications.
Forgot about that. Ugh.
So my sitter's leaving, so I've got 3 kids running around. Apologize for that, but I'll stick with you here and we'll make it work.
He's got a tour of the mansion.
Yeah, right.
I like your Christmas tree.
Thanks.
I want to see the fridge.
The Thomas train table behind me. I mean, can you see that?
Awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. It's a good dad right there.
I'll send you a text message with her.
Okay. Where's Elena? Is she over here?
Yeah, she's
Okay, cool. Thanks. So
How old are your twins now?
they're 3.5.
Wow.
All right, thanks, Tony. See ya.
Oh, that's awesome. They look like you, Mike.
Nope. This one does.
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, definitely.
All right. So application number 1. Sorry. Mary Colleen Carey. We've seen this before. Do we want to call the nephew? I think the application indicated call the nephew if we had any questions.
I would go no on that.
That's a new one.
We're done with Wendy, by the way, right? Do we need Wendy any further?
We're done with the due process.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thanks. I'm gonna jump off, but Tony's got my cell phone, which she's not allowed to give to anyone. But if you need me, let me know.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thanks.
All right, Tony, what's Wendy's cell phone number? All right, so this first application, Mary Colleen Carey. I don't have it open in front of me, but I thought it looked.
Here's what she wrote. I manage and was involved in all of the installations of all the shingles, siding, and gutter work to those addresses. I've been involved in the construction industry for well over 40 years, and my grandfather made sure we all knew how to build a home from the ground up by the time we were adults. Once again, she failed to indicate any dates or specific hands-on experience.
Right.
Yeah, she just has a list of job addresses, and that's it.
Right.
Well,
I was inclined to not approve this application.
The date that she has on here says, I will give you addresses I have built and managed over the last 2 years. So everything listed here is for the last 2 years. So that's 2 years experience, I suppose. Just saying.
Well, once again,
Goes back to December 13th of 2018.
yeah. But what is built and managed? I mean,
Right.
this is so simple. This is so simple. Indicate your hands-on experience. It's not difficult.
Right.
Yeah, it says manage and was involved.
Right.
What's the involvement?
Who knows?
We've already I'm just calling it up here. We've already turned this one down, right? So no action here. Move on to the next one.
Yep.
So Allie Kirby.
Her daughter, actually, she was going to be on the meeting last month, and I hope this isn't violating anything here, but her daughter actually died that day of the last meeting, and that was why I mean, not to get all emotional on you here, but she had some pretty serious problems over the last month. So
I think if she wants to show up before us and convince us at whatever time she's available to do that at our board meeting, I think that's still open. But for now, this application doesn't accommodate what were our criteria. The code, meet the requirements of the license.
Okay.
So, Allie Kirby, I think similar category. Is there anything that was supplemented here that Makes a difference.
She did indicate that she's replaced all kinds of shingles. She has been, or he or she has been on the field since 2016. That, again, I don't see a clear indication of hands-on experience related to any specific range of dates.
Once again, there's not convincing data here. I think we leave that as previously ruled as not approved.
Agree.
Application number 3, Dave Peabody. Was there anything new submitted with this one? I didn't think so.
Apparently not. I don't have it in here, so we'll just disregard.
I don't have anything marked on this one. Did we hear this? Did you look at this one before?
We did, and we had it disapproved.
Well, we were.
I remember we made that ruling last month.
We did the right.
I don't see anything extra on this.
So let's make a ruling on that if there's nothing extra, just because it's not documented here. I thought it was on the previous months.
Fine. I will make a motion to disapprove the application.
I second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on disapproval of application number 3 for David Peabody. Application number 4, Hinkle. Do we have new information here that we previously? Yeah, there is new information.
His new indication clearly indicates his hands-on experience, in my opinion.
Did he indicate for siding?
Yes, I do believe he did.
Yeah, I think he did on this one.
Okay. Okay, so this one's good.
I'll make a motion to approve the application for Mr. Hinkle.
I second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on approval of application number 4 for Robert Hinkle for the 4 limited scope licenses as applied for. Application number 5, Raymond Reynolds. I thought he covered what he needed to on his supplemental information.
I agree. I'll make a motion to approve the application.
I second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on approval of application number 5 for Raymond Reynolds. 6 is listed here, but I don't think we have it in front of us, right? Is there any reason this is listed here?
Oh, I thought I made a note. He's taken the HIC general exam, so you can disregard that number 6.
Nothing to review today, right?
Right.
Number 7, these are new ones. Stephen Shaw, looking for 2 limited scope licenses, siding, windows, doors, and also roofing. Thought his application was a little light.
Well, I think it's a lot light. I have been trained on roofing and siding installation.
He also didn't indicate who he worked for. He was a branch manager of some, or a group or something.
I think he works for Bone Dry Roofing, just based on what's listed there. But in any case, he attended a workshop hosted by Owens Corning. That certainly is not hands-on experience.
I was inclined to reject him based on the application information.
I'll make a motion to disapprove the application.
I second that.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries to disapprove application number 7 for Stephen Shaw. Application number 8, Chase Carter, looking for 10 limited scope licenses. I'd like to hear more from this guy about this, otherwise not inclined to approve it.
Yep.
He certainly qualifies for some of them, but not all.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to disapprove the application.
I second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on the disapproval of application number 8 for Chase Carter. Application number 9, Sean Patrick Curley. I thought he represented experience on his application here.
Okay.
Looked fine to me.
Yeah, me too. I make a motion to approve Mr. Curley's application.
Second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on approval of application number 9 for Sean Curley. Application number 10, Mark Douglas Elswick, looking for a single limited scope basement waterproofing. I thought he did a good job representing his experience, hands-on and otherwise, in his application.
Agreed. I'll make a motion to approve the application.
Second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on approval of application number 10 for Mark Elswick. Application number 11, we previously heard Jeff Engel joined us earlier and we approved his application. 11. Application number 12, Sean Christopher Farrell, single limited scope deck installation.
We had this gentleman already. He was our first guy.
Jeffrey
That's 11.
Engel, right?
Yes. Engel. Yeah, we had Engel 11. He
So
attended
12,
that.
so 12, Sean Farrell, looking for a limited deck installation.
I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Farrell's application.
I second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on approval of application number 12 for Sean Farrell. 13, Kyle Kirk, looking for 2 limited scope licenses. I thought this one looked fine.
Agreed. I will make a motion to approve Mr. Kirk's application.
I second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on approval of application 13 for Kyle Kirk. Application 14, Dalton Kusher, looking for 3 limited scope licenses. 14, this is 14 if I said that wrong.
I don't see any indication of experience in sidewalks and driveways, so I think we have no choice but to disapprove it.
And he said he helped out with.
Right.
Yep, I agree.
I'll make a motion to disapprove Mr. Kocher's application.
I second that.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Taylor,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on disapproval of application 14 for Dalton Kocher. 15, Tim Moore, looking for 2 limited scope licenses, gypboard and also roofing. Didn't see a lot of relevant experience listed here that helped his case. Or hands-on.
I don't think he mentioned the word roofing a single time in his application.
Right.
So I would make a motion to disapprove Mr. Moore's application.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Got a second. Thank you, Shane. Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Tim Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on disapproval of application 15 for Tim Moore. Application.
On the second page of his application, he lists home improvement, gutters, painting, roofing, and siding. 10 years. For 20 years.
And he did have an HIC license too in 14. Does that help out at all?
Yeah.
You're right, Tony. He listed himself as the owner, which we would typically not consider.
Well, and then that's why on the next, on his additional information, you said owner, so he's listed in response to your email. I actually pushed a paintbrush 16 years along my crew. Then I owned 60% of what we do with painting. Naturally, we ran across many drywall repair. I'm well versed in insulation, taping, skin. Okay, so maybe he doesn't say roofing here, but he does say roofing on the application.
I don't feel like that helps his case any with painting.
Okay.
How about the home improvement license that he carried in 2014?
That's right. I did not notice that, and I think that the in the past we have considered that as adequate proof of experience. Is that correct, Cliff?
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to get a general without a past test, but that should be enough for him to get limited.
Nicole, any objection from you on that?
Who did you ask, Ross?
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, no, sorry. No, I think that makes sense. If he had his limited or had his HIC before, I think we can revisit that.
I agree.
So let's withdraw our motion to disapprove and make a new motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the application, Mr. Moore's application.
Second.
All right, Cliff, roll call, please, on the new motion for Mr. Tim Moore, application 15.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Shane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pione.
Aye. Motion carries on the approval of Tim Moore's application number 15, given his prior HIC license.
Did anybody notice? Oh, sorry. Did anybody notice he spelled his birth date wrong? He had to cross it out and rewrite it.
How old is he? Let's see how old he is.
70. Well, he didn't know. So then he was at the end. It was
19. It looks like he's in a fit. Yeah, he's.
I actually did notice that because that's my birthday, but not. I'm 5 years. I'm 5 years.
He's 70, 8 or 9, 1, whatever.
Give him a little slack.
Someone typed it for him. That's right.
That's
all right.
And they were like, "Oh crap! I thought you were born in."
16, Brock Moreland, looking for 2 limited scope licenses, siding, windows, and doors, and also roofing. Number 16.
Yes, he did.
What did Tony say? I didn't hear that.
Look at his immediate supervisor.
Yeah, he worked for me for 2 or 3 years. I can assure you that none of that was in your hands-on capacity.
Well, it's regardless of your assurance, it's not indicated on the application.
Well, he indicated from 2018 to 2020, removing and replacing roof, shingles, siding, job site management, roofing repairs. Then he added additional in an email. I am not advocating or trying to persuade for a yes vote. I'm not particularly convinced that this gentleman has the hands-on experience, but I think he indicated in writing that he does.
I've got that on the screen now.
Yeah. Shane, Tom, any thoughts?
Well, I
I'd say
think
if he's been in the business, I'd say give him a break. I mean, he probably knows where Ross lives, so I'd say
well, it's not even that. It's we have to go by what he's putting on his application.
right. But he put it on the application. He's got the.
That's my point. So
Yeah.
I agree. I think his application on that supplemental email indicates that he has his hands-on experience.
Right.
We'll take a motion.
Fair enough. Did anybody happen to notice on the additional information, he listed a different company than what was on the application?
Legacy.
So anyway.
That's the business. I make a motion to approve the application for Mr. Moreland.
I second that.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Jane Kaler,
Aye.
Pion,
Aye. Motion carries on application 16 for Brock Moreland. Application number 17, Eden Needham. General past test, I believe, right?
Yes.
The only thing that jumped out at me is that framing experience, but I think he's otherwise everything looks fine.
I agree. I'm inclined to approve it.
Yep.
Okay. I would make a motion to approve Mr. Needham's license.
I second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pion.
Aye. Motion carries on approval of application 17 for Eden Needham. Number 18, Norman L. Strainer Jr., looking for 8 limited scope licenses. Our favorite.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like everything was represented as it needs to be, so I'd be inclined to hear this and not approve it at this point.
I'll make a motion to disapprove the application of Mr. Stainer.
I second.
Cliff, roll call, please.
Ross Appledorn,
Aye.
Tom Sinek,
Aye.
Jane Kaler,
Aye.
Mike Pion.
Aye. Motion carries on disapproval of application 18 for Norman Strainer Jr. Is there any other ones, Tony, that we either missed or additional that I didn't see?
Nope.
Any other agenda? Call for adjournment.
Wonderful.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy
Okay.
holiday.
See you in January.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.